At the Ohio Department of Veteran Services, our job is to educate, connect, and honor Ohio's more than 700,000 veterans. We illuminate Ohio's role in military history and inform our veterans about the benefits they've already earned. We connect vets and military families with resources, jobs, and each other. We take care of and honor Ohio's veterans for their service and for what they've done after they served. Learn more about what we do at ohiovets.gov.
Paul Butler, United States Navy, 1968-72, Vietnam.
Richard D. Ellsworth, United States Army, Second World War.
Timothy Esvich, Army National Guard, Army, during the Gulf War.
Kimberly Frisco, Air Force, Desert Storm.
William C. Graybill, U.S. Army, Vietnam veteran.
Glenn Grismer, Army, Cold War era.
Kenneth P. Jacobek, was in the United States Marine Corps, and I served at Quantico, Virginia, Marine Helicopter Squadron 1.
Thomas Jenks, Army, retired, served on active duty during the Gulf War.
Jim Castor, I served with the United States Army, and I also served in Vietnam.
Daniel R. Kirkpatrick, United States Air Force, Vietnam War, and Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Babe Kwasniak, United States Army, 1999-2004.
Dave Lang, I served in the U.S. Navy. I served in Vietnam.
Jane Lengel, I served in the Army and the Ohio Army National Guard. I served in Kosovo, Bosnia, and Iraq during Iraqi Freedom.
Dr. David G. Meyer, Air Force, Vietnam era.
Carolyn Nagy, Army Reserve, North Corps, Desert Storm.
Connie Pillich, Air Force, Gulf War era.
David Ridenour, Army veteran who served in Vietnam.
James Shear, U.S. Navy. I was a Vietnam era sailor.
My name is Alan Wallace. I served in the United States Navy during the Vietnam War.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame induction ceremony for the class of 2020. My name is Mike McKinney, and I am honored to be your Master of Ceremonies. Because of the onset of the COVID pandemic, this year's virtual ceremony is a combination of 20 different ceremonies taped over 16 days in 16 counties this fall, all culminating in today's presentation. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
And now it is my distinct honor and privilege to present to you the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame class of 2020. Our first honoree is United States Navy veteran Paul Butler of Clinton County. Having roots in Wilmington, Ohio, Paul served honorably in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War era. When he returned home, he quickly began making a major impact on his community with a successful career in the insurance industry and as a tireless advocate for veterans. In more than 50 years of membership with American Legion Post 49, he has held nearly every elected position, even serving as commander. He has been the post chaplain for 20 years and district chaplain for 7 years. Paul has been deeply involved with Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 6710 for more than 3 decades, is a life member of AMVETS and Disabled American Veterans, and is past commander of the Sons of the American Legion Squadron 49. A military historian and an eloquent presenter, Paul is a ready speaker at various Veterans Day programs and has helped put the outstanding accomplishments of fellow service members into the spotlight. He also supports patients as a VA voluntary service representative for the Wilmington Community-Based Outreach Clinic. Paul has volunteered hundreds of hours to Community Care Hospice since 2014 and is especially involved in the American Pride program, serving as chaplain, providing blankets, and pinning veterans during their final stages of care. He also has officiated several weddings and funerals and is a frequent supporter of the Honor Flight program. Paul is passionate about mentoring and educating children. whether as a participant in Flags for First Graders, as a speaker at various high school programs, or through his many years as Buckeye Boys State Chairman.
Paul enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at the early age of 71.
Now it is time to honor posthumously United States Navy veteran David W. Chilson of Wood County. David was born in Schenectady, New York in 1947, but grew up in Lyndhurst, Ohio, a suburb of Cleveland. He graduated from Brush High School and Wittenberg University before earning both a master's and doctorate degree from Bowling Green State University. After a lengthy and distinguished military career, he retired as a captain from the Naval Reserve in 1996. David also was a professor of computer science at BGSU from 1978 until his retirement in 2009. At Bowling Green, he brought recognition to the ROTC programs and was a well-respected mentor to many students and cadets. He helped create the BGSU Student Veteran Task Force and served on the school's Veterans Memorial Committee, as well as boards for the Army and Air Force departments. He also oversaw the placement of 5 POW MIA Chairs of Honor at various athletic venues on campus. David never lost sight of the magnitude of his service and the importance of aiding the community. He was an active member of the American Legion, served as president of both the local Kiwanis Club and the BGSU Retirees Association, was a Brush High School Alumni Association trustee, and was a deacon at First Presbyterian Church in Bowling Green. David was passionate about serving as guardian for numerous honor flights. He was also a board member for Honor Flight of Northwest Ohio and spearheaded fundraising efforts to bring in more than $500,000 for the organization. David was inducted into BGSU's Army ROTC and Air Force ROTC Halls of Fame. He passed away in July 2017 at the age of 69, leaving behind a legacy of selfless service to others.
Today, we recall David's admirable life as he enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame.
Our next honoree is United States Army veteran Richard Ellsworth of Licking County. Reverend Richard Ellsworth humbly has committed his entire life to caring for his country and community. Richard began his dutiful service to the United States during World War II. After returning home, it became apparent that his time in the military influenced his passionate calling to serve his community. He earned his mechanical engineering degree and began seminary studies. In addition to serving 48 years as the pastor of Central College Presbyterian Church, Richard served 30 years as a volunteer chaplain for the Columbus Divisions of Police and Fire. After 9/11, Richard ministered to first responders at Ground Zero. His service was recognized by Governor Taft, who appointed him to the Columbus Committee on Faith-Based Initiatives. Richard worked diligently to establish the chaplaincy program at the Ohio State Highway Patrol, which he has headed since 1991. He led 13 mission trips to Honduras that included the efforts of several Columbus police and highway patrol officers. Richard has been honored with an Eternal Flame at the Patrol's Training Academy, received the Robert M. Cheramont Humanitarian Award, and was presented with the Ohio Department of Public Safety's Military Service Award. In addition to his ministry, he has formally contributed to his community by serving on numerous boards and committees, including those that support the Westerville Public Library, Westerville City Schools, and programs for battling addiction. He has been recognized by the Westerville Area Chamber of Commerce for outstanding community service and received the Ford Oval of Honor in 2019. His genuine and good-hearted presence has made an instrumental impact on countless lives.
Reverend Ellsworth enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 95.
Up next is United States Army and Ohio Army National Guard veteran Timothy Espich of Clark County. A native of Springfield, Ohio, Tim joined the military in 1981 at 17 years old and served in the Army and Ohio Army National Guard for nearly 24 years. Soon after retiring as a Master Sergeant in 2005, he began to make an indelible mark on Ohio veterans. In fact, Governor Bob Taft tabbed him with the duty of Director of the Governor's Office of Veterans Affairs. When Ted Strickland was elected as governor in 2007, he asked him to continue in that capacity and eventually leaned on him to create a new state agency, the Ohio Department of Veterans Services. Known as a poised and highly effective leader, Tim took this challenge to heart by structuring the department and its position descriptions, reaching out to veterans organizations across the state, establishing satellite offices at VA facilities, and pushing forward several new programs and initiatives, such as the Ohio Veterans Bonus, the Ohio Women Veterans Conference, and Justice Involved Veterans. He also expanded training standards for county veterans service officers and commissioners and helped establish Ohio's first Veterans Outreach program. In addition, he was instrumental in shaping numerous pieces of key legislation that help Ohio vets and in improving military records keeping nationally. With Governor Strickland's support, Tim worked with the Department of Defense to start a pilot program with a defense contractor and all 5 branches of the military to allow ODVS to access military records electronically. This reduced wait times on retrieving DD-214 discharge papers from weeks to mere minutes and saved taxpayer dollars by eliminating manual processing. Currently the executive director at the Greene County VSO,
Tim enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at the age of 56. I'm honored to read this. I'm honored to be in your presence, and I just want to wish you congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let us now honor United States Air Force veteran Kimberly Frisco of Greene County. Kimberly is a force for good in the greater Miami Valley whose impact has been felt time and again. While at the Dayton VA Medical Center, she facilitated outreach efforts to veterans in 16 counties. During this time, she secured a grant for cancer and lymphedema patients to provide them transportation, massage therapy, food delivery, and compression garments, and she also worked to designate a parking area for Purple Heart veterans. Kimberly improved the medical center aesthetically too, arranging educational lobby exhibits and coordinating grants to erect a statue of President Lincoln and to improve the appearance of courtyards, walkways, and lighting. Driven by a compassion for those in need, she formed the Dayton VA Veterans Food Pantry, which provides food and household items to thousands. And through the greater Miami Valley veteran community, Kimberly helped create a 24/7 call line called VetsLink, an annual job fair called Vets Moving Forward, and a program to support veterans with dementia called the Alzheimer's Military Task Force. She also worked to ensure qualified veterans received automobiles, and with Greenback's Blessing of the Bikes to help veterans with mobility issues receive Ambux trikes. In addition, she worked with the Dayton Bar Association to provide legal aid to local veterans. Kimberly established an annual Welcome Home event which provides benefits information and health screenings for transitioning service members and their families. She has also organized events to honor Korean War veterans, Vietnam War veterans, Military Order of the Purple Heart veterans, the 4 chaplains who gave their lives during rescue efforts of the Dorchester, and World War I veteran James Reese.
Kimberly enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at the age of 55. Kim, congratulations. I couldn't be more proud of you.
Thank you.
Your accomplishments, you're a treasure to our community, and I'm proud to call you friend.
You're my friend. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Our next honoree is United States Army veteran William Graybill of Brown County. Bill is an Army veteran from Mount Orab, Ohio, who served honorably in Vietnam and has carried the Army's values throughout his life. He began his career at Cincinnati Millicron in 1974, and for the past 30 years has conducted a flag-raising ceremony there on Veterans Day, even after his retirement in 2017. Bill is committed to ensuring that our nation's heroes are celebrated and remembered. He led extraordinary efforts to bring the traveling Vietnam Wall to Brown County, where over 10,000 visitors were able to experience the monumental sacrifices that the wall represents. As the owner of Ohio Valley Flags, Bill is passionate about educating others, especially young people, on flag retirements and proper flag etiquette. Bill, known to many as Chaplain, became an ordained minister in 1992. He is dedicated to selflessly serving his fellow veterans and their families. He has served as chaplain for military honors and sick and shut-in veterans throughout Southern Ohio. He is a member of several veterans organizations, including the American Legion, VFW, Vietnam Veterans of America, and DAV. He also devotes his time as chaplain to provide comfort and care to veterans living at the Ohio Veterans Home in nearby Georgetown. His genuine care certainly has made a positive impact on countless lives. Bill was honored by his American Legion District with the Chaplain's Award for Religious Emphasis in 2017 and was recognized as Veteran of the Year by the local veteran support group Open Arms Always in 2017. Last year, he was selected as one of the top 20 nominees for the Congressional Medal of Honor Society's Citizen Award.
Today, Bill enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at the young age of 73.
Up next is United States Army veteran Glenn Grismier of Warren County. After serving honorably in the Army, Glenn received his degree in mechanical engineering. He quickly developed a deep appreciation for career and technical schools and went on to earn a master's in adult and vocational education at the University of Cincinnati. In 1969, Glenn served on the Hamilton County Board of Education and played an instrumental role in passing a levy that provided funding for career campuses, ensuring young adults in Southwest Ohio would have access to a broad range of career options. He served as the director for Diamond Oaks Vocational School, but ultimately, his passion for connecting young people to rewarding career paths led him to accept a teaching position in vocational education at Milford High School in 1972. After his retirement in 1992, he continued sharing his mechanical engineering expertise as an adjunct professor at UC. Constantly looking out for those in need, Glenn helped grow Matthew 25 Ministries from a small organization to a large 200,000 square foot operation that collects donations for disadvantaged families, schools, and disaster victims. Glenn also has driven thousands of miles across the country to provide humanitarian supplies. These critical missions included trips to support victims of various natural disasters throughout the country. Through Fabretto Children's Foundation, he has worked with Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and made numerous trips to Nicaragua to deliver donated supplies. He has dedicated many years volunteering with the Milford Kiwanis Club, Boy Scouts of America, and Arthritis Foundation. His compassion for others has led him to welcome exchange students and sick into his home. Glenn has exemplified a life of service,
and he enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at the young age of 79. Congratulations.
Let us now honor United States Marine Corps veteran Kenneth Jakubek of Mahoning County. Ken joined the Marine Corps in October 1964 as a 17-year-old. His 6 years of honorable military service instilled an unshakable sense of purpose and commitment in him, as well as a deeper understanding of the value of teamwork, attributes that are evident every day in Austintown, where he is a beloved coach, mentor, and driver of charitable contributions to the community. Throughout the 1970s, Ken served as a volunteer coach for the Aero Track Club and captured 5 straight cross-country championships. He also was instrumental in the installation of several significant updates to the track field at Fitch High School. He has volunteered for Special Olympics, coached 6th grade basketball, and administered the Optimus Club Tri-Star Basketball Skills Contest, developed a 5,000-meter cross-country course, and served as chairman of Toys for Tots. Ken served on the local Board of Education from 1987 to 2003 and again from 2014 to 2017, amassing 20 years in that role and serving twice as board president. He also has served as a 3-time president of the Greater Youngstown Track Officials Association. Along with providing opportunities for youth, Ken is equally driven to pay homage to military sacrifice. He speaks at veterans events, started a local Patriots Day event, and also organized a program that connects students with service members past and present to share their stories. Ken received the Marine Corps League Meritorious Service Award in 2015, and the following year was named Veteran of the Year by the United Veterans Council of Youngstown. A member of Fitch's Athletics Hall of Fame as a contributor and the Austintown Growth Foundation Hall of Fame,
Ken enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 73.
The next honoree is United States Army veteran Thomas Jenks of Cuyahoga County. Known to many as Major Jenks, Tom served honorably in the U.S. Army for 20 years and is a combat veteran of the Persian Gulf War. Since his return home, he's been a standout contributor to the greater Cleveland area in a variety of roles. One of particular impact was a senior Army instructor for the junior ROTC at Cleveland's Collinwood High School from 1995 to 2014. While there, he also coached the varsity softball and volleyball teams and served as military drill team coach. In addition to mentoring youth to become better citizens, Tom has contributed significantly to the veterans community. He is past president of the Greater Cleveland Chapter Military Officers Association of America and currently serves as that organization's state vice president. He was instrumental in establishing MOA's scholarship program for junior ROTC graduates. He also is a trustee of the Euclid Veterans Association, a visible mentor through the Cuyahoga County Veterans Treatment Court, and is past president of both the Cleveland Association of the U.S. Army and the Joint Veterans Council of Cuyahoga County, where he coordinates an annual military swear-in ceremony and new citizen naturalization ceremony at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on June 14th in conjunction with the Flag Day and Army Birthday celebration. He's also successfully lobbied the Ohio legislature to eliminate state income tax for uniformed services and the United States Congress for the elimination of the SPP-DIC Widows Tax Offset. He annually coordinates efforts for the local Elks Lodge to donate winter clothing to veterans in need. Tom was inducted into the Central Michigan University ROTC Hall of Fame in 2012.
He enters the Ohio State Hall of Fame right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next honoree is United States Army veteran James Castor of Cuyahoga County. Jim served in combat during the Tet Offensive in the Vietnam War and received multiple decorations for his service in the U.S. Army. In 1970, he returned to his hometown of Warren, Ohio, and began working for General Motors in nearby Lordstown. During a lengthy and prominent career with GM, he also provided leadership to a litany of veterans organizations and causes. Jim was a reliable liaison for Veterans Affairs for the Ohio Attorney General's office, and while serving in the same capacity for the Franklin County Recorder, he created the Veterans Identification Card as recognized by House Bill 173. He also has been appointed a member of the Employers Support of the Guard and Reserve in Ohio and is involved with MilVets, serving as a past trustee. Jim is an enthusiastic participant of the Veteran Advisory Council of the Lewis Stokes Cleveland VA Medical Center, VA Northeast Ohio Healthcare System, and represented the council at the Vision 10 Strategic Planning Meeting. He served in a volunteer capacity at the Ohio Veterans Home in Sandusky, organizing several special events for the residents. In his community, Jim is a willing mentor who listens to the needs of others and shares his experiences constructively. He has remained a very active member of the United Auto Workers and currently serves on the UAW Retirees Committee. While chairman of the UAW Veterans Standing Committee, he helped develop an MIA POW Awareness Day program in the area. He also is a Disabled American Veterans Executive Board member and has
served as past commander of DAV Chapter 3 and DA District 10 Commander. Jim is a proud father of Whitney and Morgan and grandfather of Avery and Brielle Barnett. What an honor it is, Jim. I salute you for all the work you do, and I'm saying it from my heart. I know how hard you work. God bless you.
Now it's time to honor United States Air Force veteran Daniel Kirkpatrick of Greene County. Daniel is an engaging leader who commits his talents to faithfully serving others. After operating as the Chief Nursing Officer in his last active duty assignment at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base Medical Center, he went on to co-found and serve as president of the Center for Disaster Mental Health in the Dayton area, a group of military and civilian mental health professionals focused on the mental health needs of disaster victims. He was instrumental in creating the Fairborn chapter of Christmas in Action, a program dedicated to repairing the homes of low-income seniors through the aid of community volunteers. He further devoted himself to helping local citizens, those battling addiction, through his involvement with the Fairborn Drug Court. A longtime member of the American Nurses Association, Daniel held several positions at the state level, including president of the Ohio Nurses Association, and continues to serve on several ONA committees. In addition, he served as a Fairborn City Councilman and 2 terms as that city's mayor. He sought to honor fellow veterans through his work as chairman of the Education Committee of the American Veterans Heritage Center at the Dayton VA, and by serving as co-chairman of the Fairborn Military Veterans Memorial Project. Also, he's been active as a board member of the Miami Valley Military History Museum and aids the storytelling process for the American Veterans Heritage Center at the Dayton VA. Because of his regarded excellence in the medical field, He was consulted by educators and healthcare workers in Pennsylvania and South Dakota to provide guidance on dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020.
Daniel enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at the right young age of 67. It's outstanding, brother. Proud of you.
Up next is United States Army veteran Babe Kwasniak of Cuyahoga County. Passion is the driving force in the life of Northeast Ohio native Babe Kwasniak. It served him well as a successful basketball player and in his 10-year stint as coach of one of Ohio's powerhouse prep programs. It also was the meter throughout his military career and during his constant pursuit of bettering the lives of service members. An advocate for veterans tackling challenges such as post-traumatic stress, transition difficulties, and suicidal ideations, Babe was named a civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army in 2019, becoming the youngest person ever appointed. He also was a territory manager for 8 years at Ameripath, the world's largest cancer diagnostic molecular testing company. Babe was a student athlete for Army, graduating from West Point, and was a distinguished honor graduate of the Infantry Basic Officer Course. In 2004, he coached the Armed Forces to a gold medal in the International Games. From 2010 to 2020, he was head coach at his high school alma mater, Cleveland Villa Angela St. Joseph, and guided VASJ to boys basketball state titles in 2013, 2015, and 2017. In doing so, he became the only Ohioan ever to win 3 such state championships as a player, as well as multiple titles as a coach. 7 of his players have gone on to serve in the U.S. military, a point of great pride for Babe. Among his many philanthropic and volunteer pursuits, Babe is the founder of the Live for Joy Foundation, which raises money for ocular melanoma research. He's also a board member for NEOPAT and an emphatic, inspirational speaker who has impacted the lives of thousands.
Babe enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 44. Congratulations, Babe.
Thank you.
Let us now honor United States Navy veteran David Lang of Carroll County. David served honorably in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam conflict, and after his discharge in 1971, the longtime Northeast Ohio resident worked in construction in Denver and then was employed at the Ford Motor Company's Cleveland stamping plant while completing his college education. His impressive and varied post-military adventures were just beginning. David eventually became an award-winning journalist, and while shaping thought as a writer and delving into topics such as post-traumatic stress, he also found time to mentor youth in the area and serve as an advocate for veterans. He won 63 different statewide awards as a newspaper reporter and columnist, including the Osmond C. Hooper Community Service Award for his series of articles that helped lead to the formation of a local chapter of the Vietnam Veterans of America. He also gained acclaim as a Cleveland Plain Dealer community columnist who was willing to factually debunk myths about Agent Orange. As the editor of Chagrin Valley Times, Solon Times, and Geauga Times Courier, he won the Ohio Excellence in Journalism's Award for column writing. An Eagle Scout himself, David served as a scout leader, coached soccer and swimming, served as a public speaker at various events, and became a fair housing advocate. He also continued his personal athletic pursuits and in 2014 won 4 gold medals and 1 silver as a competitive swimmer at the Ohio Senior Olympics. A 1967 graduate of Cuyahoga Falls High School, David received the Distinguished Alumni Award from the Cuyahoga Schools Foundation in 2010. In 2020, he earned a Master's in Political Science from the University of Akron.
David enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 71. Well deserving, and you have our unbroken respect, and I salute you. God bless you.
Our next honoree is United States Army veteran Jane Lengel of Franklin County. Jane is a well-known and well-regarded event organizer, volunteer, and veteran advocate in Central Ohio. She served in the U.S. Army and the Ohio Army National Guard from 1979 to 2017, a 38-year run of service that included deployments in Bosnia and Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Before, during, and after her time in the military, Jane has remained committed to public service and is deeply involved in events and programs that benefit veterans and the community. She is a key member of MilVets, a nonprofit organization that partners with the USO to sponsor a popular Armed Forces Day luncheon fundraiser in Columbus, as well as the annual downtown Central Ohio Veterans Day Parade. She was named MilVets Trustee of the Year in 2016 and served as parade chair in 2019 as the event paid special tribute to World War II veterans. Jane is instrumental in the operation of the Central Ohio Stand Down, which provides critical resources to veterans in need. She also has a passion for supporting women veterans and is a longtime member of the Ohio Women Veterans Advisory Committee, as well as roles with the Ohio Women Veterans Foundation and Central Ohio Women Veterans Foundation. In 1987, she became the first woman aide to the Columbus Chief of Police. She has volunteered at the YWCA Family Center since 2011 and also assisted with the Suits for Heroes program. As manager of the National Background Check Program, she directs a team of state agencies and VA representatives to help Ohio veterans on Medicaid secure their earned benefits.
Jane enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at the age of 63. Congratulations.
Up next is United States Air Force veteran Dr. David Meyer of Montgomery County. A Vietnam War era veteran, Dave is an accomplished, hardworking public servant who has greatly impacted the Dayton area. He is a multi-state licensed professional engineer whose PhD dissertation in the plastics field was presented to the Polymer Ohio organization in Columbus. Dave started First Engineering Company, through which he provided many free engineering consulting services. He later chaired the Industrial Engineering Technology and Quality Control programs at Sinclair Community College, where he added a curriculum for Six Sigma. In addition to teaching this process improvement methodology, he wrote companion course books, which have since been used by instructors at the University of Dayton. Dave has paid visits to manufacturers as well, helping them improve operational efficiencies and connecting them with students who would become employees. To date, he has saved Dayton businesses more than $24.5 million in operating costs. Dave volunteered to teach college-accredited STEM classes at the high school level and initiated a STEM program at Tolles Tech in Plain City, Ohio. He also is driven to preserve the history and heritage in his hometown of Centerville, as well as Washington Township, and even serves on a local board to that end. He also volunteers with the annual Centerville 4th of July Parade, visible in his restored 1961 Massey Ferguson farm tractor, donates time as an expert witness in contract disputes, and was instrumental in a charity home building project for a local family in need. He also devoted energy to the Knights of Columbus in St. Clairsville for 10 years while residing in Eastern Ohio. Dave is a former recipient of the Baxter's Presidential Award for Outstanding Service during the AIDS epidemic.
He enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at the age of 76.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next honoree is United States Army veteran Carolyn Nagy of Lucas County. Carolyn is genuinely committed to supporting veterans in Northwest Ohio. After serving in the military, she focused her nursing career in the areas of management, education, cardiology, and trauma. As a flight nurse, she transported the critically ill to various facilities in the United States. At a Level 1 trauma center, she was the coordinator for QI and adult injury prevention. She later became the trauma coordinator for a Level 3 trauma center. As an educator, she developed a critical care course, lectured across the country on critical care topics, and spent numerous years as an instructor for various basic and advanced trauma courses. During her nursing career, she served on many health-related committees in the hospital and community. Following retirement from acute care, she developed the Practical Nurse program at Stautzenberger College and served as its director until retirement. Carolyn now focuses much of her attention to the needs of women veterans. She serves as a representative of the Ohio Department of Veterans Services Women's Advisory Committee and is the coordinator of Women Veterans Initiative through United States Vets Incorporated. Part of her focus is to identify women veterans and to increase the community's awareness of women veterans and their needs. To increase awareness, she has organized a group of women veterans to march in regional parades and offers free presentations regarding military life. She has coordinated food, clothing, household items, transportation, visitations, socialization events, and monetary support for utilities and medical expenses based on individual needs. She publishes a free monthly newsletter highlighting the accomplishments of military women.
Carolyn enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 77. Congratulations.
Now it is time to honor United States Air Force veteran Connie Pillich of Hamilton County. The word service has great meaning for Connie, who served honorably in the Air Force for more than 8 years, logged 3 terms in the Ohio legislature as the state representative for the 28th Ohio House District, and during a highly successful career as an attorney, also has provided countless time and acts of leadership to a plethora of organizations and causes. Connie holds memberships with the Cincinnati Bar Association, the Ohio State Bar Association, and the Women's Bar Association of the District of Columbia. As an attorney, she once argued and won a case before the Ohio Supreme Court and also did pro bono work for those in need. As a state representative, she introduced the Ohio Veterans Bonus Program for post-9/11 veterans. She also was the founder of the Veterans Caucus and served on the State Council on Educational Opportunities for Military Children. Connie also was a mainstay on several other governmental committees, including the Ohio State Patrol Mission Review Task Force and the Ohio Family Violence Prevention Center Advisory Council. Among her many efforts to improve society and her community was to push the legislature to require insurance coverage for mammograms and the city of Cincinnati to adopt a mandatory arrest policy for domestic violence investigations. Connie's involvements are endless. She was chair of the Alt Park Independence Day celebration, program director for the Clifton Track Club, president of the JELC Parent Cooperative, vice president of Kennedy Heights Montessori Center, a founding member of the Linguini Group Investment Club, a coach and referee for youth soccer, is a Girl Scouts volunteer, and serves on numerous committees and boards.
Connie enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 60. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The next honoree is United States Army veteran David Ridenauer of Wood County. David is a man of action whose nearly 50 years of service have greatly contributed to his community, including his alma mater, Bowling Green State University. He led efforts to research and fund updates for the BGSU Memorial Hall of Fallen Heroes, resulting in the addition of the names of 34 BGSU students who died in service to our country. To further foster honor for the fallen, David directed the placement of POW MIA chairs at BGSU sports venues. He helped form the BGSU Army ROTC Alumni Society in 2003, serving as president since its inception, and served on the BGSU Veterans Memorial Committee. David vigorously served veterans while on the Wood County Veterans Service Commission, acting as president for 15 of those years. He served in multiple leadership positions with the Ohio State Association of Veterans Service Commissioners and on the American Legion Buckeye Boy State staff, where he was elected to the Board of Trustees and has served as vice president. In addition, David served on the Strategic Planning Committee to develop a Veterans Service Office manual for use in all 88 Ohio counties. In his spare time, he has participated in parades and demonstration rides with Rolling Thunder and has served as an honor flight guardian. A Vietnam veteran with a talent for photography, David published a book of images he captured during a return trip to the country in 2013. He often has shared these images and associated experiences at events and exhibitions. He also has advocated for other veteran artists, creating the first veterans art exhibit of Northwest Ohio to feature their artwork.
David enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 72.
Let us now honor United States Navy veteran James Shear of Stark County. James left active U.S. naval service after 6 years and 3 combat tours in Vietnam, but never stopped serving his country. He continued his flying career as a Naval Reserve pilot and in the private sector flew with U.S. Airways before elevating to chief pilot and vice president. He was instrumental in growing the airline, bringing thousands of jobs to Americans, and in developing a plan to save it from bankruptcy years later. After 9/11, the U.S. government asked James to return to public service to help revamp aviation security. He agreed, becoming a founding executive of the Transportation Security Administration, overseeing programs at 454 TSA airports and guiding more than 56,000 employees. James led other important national efforts as well. He authored the Post-Katrina Emergency Transportation and Security Plan and served as the Federal Aviation Administration's first Vice President for Safety during the safest period in the history of U.S. air travel. Despite involvement with large-scale efforts, James never forgot the individuals with whom he served. As the Department of Homeland Security Senior Director for Maryland, he instituted a send-off and welcome home program for all deploying and returning service members traveling through the Baltimore-Washington International Airport. He also spearheaded a program to honor World War II veterans who participate in the Honor Flight program by arranging use of charter aircraft to bring them to Washington, D.C. from across the nation. James also advocates for veterans as a member of the advisory board for the Moffett Field Historical Society and Museum, and as a facilitator of the U.S. Naval Academy's Capstone Leadership Program.
James enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at age 74.
And our last honoree is United States Navy veteran Alan Wallace of Fairfield County. Alan first committed himself to serving others while in the military, during which time he cared for sick and wounded soldiers as well as civilians at the Naval Support Activity Hospital, the largest combat casualty hospital in the Republic of South Vietnam. Since then, throughout the past 50 years, he has continued to serve. He worked in the operating room at Grant Medical Center in Columbus, Ohio for 3 years and became a volunteer fireman with the Bloom Township Fire Department. He joined the Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base Fire Department, where he worked for 12 years. Following this assignment, he worked for the fire department at Fort Myer in Virginia. During that time, Allen, while preparing for the arrival of a military helicopter, witnessed the crash of American Airlines Flight 77 into the Pentagon on September 11, 2001. Despite sustaining injuries, he spent more than 3 hours rescuing victims from the burning building and aiding many harmed by the crash. Allen took heroic actions that day. He often shares his experiences by regularly participating in 9/11 memorial services to commemorate the day and ensure that the American public remains aware of the importance of defending our freedom and liberty. He also continues to be an enthusiastic community volunteer in other capacities. Allen organized and led 11 bus trips so groups could participate in wreaths across America. He participates in parades, operates as a volunteer tour guide at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, volunteers with Women in Military Service for America, and serves as an honor flight guardian.
Allen enters the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame at the age of 74.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame class of 2020. We are humbled by your service and by your deeds.
Hello, I'm Cassie Barlow, U.S. Air Force retired and Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, class of 2018. Congratulations, class of 2020. We are so glad to stand by your side. Thanks for all you do for your region and for our state.
Hello, I'm Jackson County Commissioner Paul Haller and fellow Hall of Fame member from the class of 2018. I just want to congratulate you on this tremendous honor of being selected into the Ohio Department of Veterans Services Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
My name is Sergeant Al Edmondson, serving in Persian Gulf, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, class of 2016 Veterans Hall of Fame. I just want to let you know that today is the best day of your life. And I say that because not only have you served your country, but you served your community well, and this is why you're being honored today. I wish you the best of luck in all that you do, and welcome to the family, class of 2020.
To all the veterans that are being inducted into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, I'd like to say congratulations. Thank you for your service, thank you for your accomplishments, and thank you for most of all what you are doing and have continued to do once you remove the uniform. Induction into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame is a very special recognition to say that we realize and we appreciate all that you continue to do for veterans. As veterans, we appreciate it, and we need others to continue to help us and to continue to serve after they leave the military. And as proven by your induction into the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, you continue to do a job well done. Congratulations. We appreciate you.
I'm Susan Green, Army retired, and a member of the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame, class of 2016. To the class of 2020, congratulations on your selection for this well-deserved honor. Thank you for your service and all you do in your communities every day. And welcome to the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame.
I'm John Hoppers, member of the Executive Committee, and I had the honor of participating in several of the induction ceremonies this year. And I must say it was very memorable for me, and I'm sure it was for the inductees, and congratulations.
My name is Gary Saladay. I'm the AMVETS representative on the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame Executive Committee. It's my pleasure this evening to welcome the 2020 inductees to the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame. We thank you for your service. We wish you well in the future. Congratulations.
I just want to congratulate the class of 2020 Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame recipients. My name is Bill DeFries, United States Marine Corps from 1980 to 1984. I also happen to be a 2017 recipient of the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame. I sit on the Executive Committee as the Vice Chair, and we have the distinct honor of reviewing all the applications that are submitted. Over the past 3 years, I've seen almost 600 applications. I wanted you to know that you are the cream of the crop. Every one of those applications could be in the Hall of Fame. You sit amongst presidents, astronauts, and scientists, but it's the regular Joes like me and you that really make a difference in our community. What you've done for your country is remarkable, but you've come back to the state of Ohio, and you've come back into your communities, and you've given so much. You've made us a better place to live, and for that, you have a wonderful legacy. Congratulations, class of 2020.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the Adjutant General of the State of Ohio, Major General John C. Harris, Jr.
Hi. I'll begin by congratulating the sponsors of this year's ceremony, the Ohio Department of Veterans Services, the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame Foundation. Thanks for your adaptability and your willingness to make this ceremony happen in spite of our current COVID-19 situation. Exactly the kind of things we expect from our military community, and you certainly exemplify that. And speaking of exemplifying our military community, congratulations to this year's inductees. Let me specifically call out Jane Lingle from Franklin County and Tim Espich from Clark County, two former guardsmen themselves and people who, like all of our inductees, have just gone into their communities and been a catalyst for excellence, continuing that tradition of service after service, living those military values and representing those to every segment of our community. I couldn't be more happy for you, more proud of you. You know, it's interesting to me that most of the inductees I know, and I've bumped into you from time to time, not because I'm so busy, but simply because you're so present, so visible in our communities, and I feel like I'm amongst friends when I look at the list of inductees this year. So congratulations to all of you. Congratulations for what you've done. Congratulations for what you continue to do in our communities. But most importantly, congratulations for getting the recognition. I know you don't do it for that reason. I know you don't do it to be called out. Some of you are probably shy to be called out this way, but you deserve it, and enjoy the moment. And again, thanks to the Ohio Department of Veterans Services and the Hall of Fame Foundation for making this happen and recognizing these great individuals.
Now let's welcome the Director of the Ohio Department of Veterans Services and the former Adjutant General of the State of Ohio, retired Major General Deborah Ashenhurst.
It's now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker. It's an easy introduction for me. It's my boss, Governor Mike DeWine. I have to tell you, it's great to work for a boss who has such an appreciation for our military members who are currently serving, but also has such a strong heart for our veterans. You may be aware that he had family members that served, and even family members who gave their life for our country. So without any more of an introduction, because he really doesn't need it, let me introduce to you my boss, our governor, Governor Mike DeWine.
General Ashenhurst, thank you very, very much. One of the many blessings of serving as Ohio's governor is having opportunities like this to draw attention to truly exceptional people, outstanding accomplishments, and acts of compassion that occur every day across our great state. The Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame represents all of this and more. All 895 members of the Hall are celebrated for serving our country in the military and then for continuing that service at home through their volunteerism, their advocacy, and their public service. Each year, the Ohio Department of Veterans ushers into the hall a new deserving group of men and women and recognizes them for their service after their service. The Hall of Fame includes 6 U.S. presidents, more than 300 Medal of Honor recipients, and some of Ohio's best-known Native sons and daughters, such as astronaut John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, Catherine Sullivan, and World War I flying ace Eddie Rickenbacker, and Vietnam War nurse Sharon Lane, and also legendary football coaches Woody Hayes and Paul Brown. The hall was started by my friend, Governor George Voinovich, in 1992. You know, he understood that veterans not only deserve our gratitude for serving in the armed forces, but are also to be commended for the many ways that they continue to help others once they're in civilian life. They're church volunteers, advocates for fellow veterans, and trusted leaders in the community. This year, we're pleased to add another exceptional class to the Hall of Fame, 20 men and women who represent 4 branches of service in 16 different counties of our great state. They are truly the best of the best. We have more than 700,000 veterans in Ohio, each one with a story to tell and a path to service that merits our respect and appreciation. Many of them are retired, and some now need our care, like the heroes who reside in our Ohio veterans' homes. It's not uncommon for veterans to continue to have a desire to help and protect others. Some are extraordinary and enrich our state with their leadership, innovation, advocacy, and acts of kindness. While COVID-19 disrupted our plans this year to gather and celebrate the class of 2020 in person, the lack of a traditional ceremony in no way reflects our sentiments. I want to say this directly to all of our honorees. Please, please know that we cherish your accomplishments, your amazing sacrifices, and how selfless you have been. And so on behalf of all Ohioans, I want to say thank you. And I hope this moment stays with you and that you know that we deeply respect and admire all of you. I also want to thank the veteran community, all of our nominators, and the members of the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame Executive Committee for providing us with another wonderful class. It's my honor to help recognize all of you in the class of 2020 for your contributions to our communities, our state, and our nation. To each one of you, congratulations.
Thank you, Governor DeWine. As our event comes to a close, we would like to offer a special mention of the nominators of the class of 2020. Your preparation and time in nominating these outstanding Ohio veterans is definitely the key to our success. Thank you. We encourage all of you watching to consider nominating a deserving Ohio veteran that you know for his or her post-military achievements. The deadline for the class of 2021 is June 1st. A special thank you goes out to the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame Executive Committee, as well as the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame Foundation for all of their outstanding support. And thank you to all our distinguished guests for joining us. And we would also like to show our gratitude to the many people and organizations that contributed to the success of this year's virtual ceremony, especially those that opened their homes, VFW halls, museums, and other locations so that we could safely bring these ceremonies to the class of 2020. Thank you and congratulations one last time to the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame class of 2020.
I really don't have a lot to say except thank you. This is a humbling moment. I'm not used to this. I'm used to being out there watching.
It's really very profound to hear what the governor had to say about the Hall of Fame itself and those that are inducted. So I'm really very grateful and gratified and honored to do that.
This is a very humbling day for me to receive this great honor. I want to share this with all my fellow veterans.
I'm proud to be an American military veteran. I'm proud to be an American journalist. And I'm really proud to be honored by the Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame.
I've been truly blessed. I don't know any other way to put it. The work that I do is not really work. The work that I do it's my therapy for my PTSD. It gives me comfort.
When I think about my greatest accomplishments in my life, I say my children, Kayla and Talon, but this is pretty good too. So, thank you for this incredible honor.
It's an honor. And
at no time did I consider myself the caliber of the men and women being inducted. It's my hope that I'm here. Didn't go like this in the pre-reading.
I am like over the moon with this honor. Like I told you on the phone, ma'am, like I'm not sure if I'm worthy. I'm not just saying that to be humble. I'm really not sure if I am, but I give you my West Point word that I will be, that I will do everything to fight for veterans and to be their spokesperson.
And my first reaction when I was told that I was to receive this was that I really didn't deserve it when I saw all the other names of people.
You know, I learned about this Hall of Fame when I visited the State House about 15 years ago. And I was in awe just walking through, listing the names, okay, and understanding that a lot of these people paid a huge price, far more than what I did. But again, it was inspirational.
I am very humbled to accept this award on behalf of David Chilson and his sisters. His sisters are immensely proud of David's service to family, country, and community.
I had a friend once told me that I could never afford to have more than 2 or 3 friends. If he were here tonight, I'd ask him to look around and see how wrong he was.
I never dreamed this would happen to myself.
It was absolutely something I felt that I was not eligible for.
I just want to say that this doesn't happen in a void. People are a team, and like we say, there's no I in the word team.
I think it's gratifying in these days of COVID and everything else that's going on that the Veterans Administration from Ohio and Arizona would link together in order to do this ceremony. It just gives you faith in the fact that people really want to help and get along.
I've been very blessed to have been given a lot of opportunities to serve, not only in the military, but also in public service.
I also want to thank the many individuals and fellow veterans who have listened to my ideas and assisted me in accomplishing the many objectives I have set out to achieve.
Well, I'm so honored to wear this. It's really a representation of literally hundreds of people, groups from my staff at GOVA, groups with my friends at the National Guard, our great staff at the Ohio Department of Veterans Services.
And not one of those accomplishments was mine solely. So I appreciate everybody who helped me get here and helped me get recognized. I'm honored and excited to be in the class of 2020. So thank you all very much.
I am honored, not only to be here for this, but I am honored to be here and have you here with me. Thank you very much.
It's really amazing, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I want to close by saying the 3 things I do every day, and I do these a lot more than one time, but I try to do this once every day. Say something nice to somebody, do something nice for somebody, and make somebody laugh. Those are my goals every day when I get up in the morning, and I touch many lives by doing that. Thank you very much for this great honor.
Do you know a veteran who has gone above and beyond to serve your community after she or he served our country? I'm retired Major General Debbie Ashenhurst, and my job is to serve the more than 700,000 Ohio veterans and honor the best of the best by enshrining them in our Ohio Veterans Hall of Fame. But I can't do that without you. Please nominate a deserving vet by clicking on the Hall of Fame link at ohiovets.gov. The deadline is June 1st.
Sponsored by the ODVS, aired by the OAB and this station.